Yo, what's good, boys? This is how to make your gym time 10 times more effective than it normally would be. Now, if you already have some of these systems implemented, good. But if you don't have any of these systems implemented, these are just some things that will genuinely help you make your gym time way more effective than like what it is now, especially for people that really don't have that much time. Because I know a lot of us, we are busy, we work often, we work 10, 12 plus hours, and we only have about 45 minutes to an hour to get in the gym. So this is just to help you actually utilize your time to the best of your abilities. Say on chest day, right? I do 7 heavy sets of incline bench press. I wouldn't have to go to another press if all my sets were good sets. I would have to do cable flies instead because I already did so much pressing, targeting the one muscle group, which would be my upper chest, which I wanted to target through the Smith press. And I did 7 heavy sets. And that wouldn't take me longer than 30 minutes because I'm doing 7 sets. And in between every set is only 90 seconds of rest time. So why would I need a lot of rest time if I'm only doing 7 sets of one machine? It makes it for a much more efficient workout. It also depends on what you're training for versus size or definition, which we'll go over that in a minute. But you only need one pressing movement and one fly movement for your chest. And same thing with like a lot of these other movements, but you want to make sure they're both compound movements. Unless it's like compound isolation, that's good too. But if they're both compound movements and you only have like 45 minutes to an hour to work out, you want to make sure the workouts that you do are compound movements. Size. Now, training for size means you want to go as heavy as you can, only being able to get 6 to 10 reps. Now, this should feel hard by the fifth rep. And if it doesn't feel hard by the fifth rep, you probably have to go a little heavier. But if you can get more than 10 reps, you definitely need to go heavier. Because at the end of the day, if you're maxing out at 5, 6, 7, that's good. You want that. You want it to be hard by the 5, 6, or 7th rep, but then not give up on the 8th rep. But if you can't push past 8, then you're doing something right. You have good weight on your hands that you're pushing, and it's not like 10 to 12 because that's just junk volume. That's just volume that you don't need, right? So training for size. If you still have reps in reserve, if you still have more reps after your 10th rep, if you still have reps in reserve after the 10th rep, you need to go heavier. Me, for example, if I'm dumbbell pressing 75s, but I can still do more after 10, I have to go up in weight until I can't get 10. And you're supposed to say 10, it says 20, which for me is 85. Today, I did a lot of pressing today, and I went up to 85s, but I couldn't get 10 to 85s. I only got like 7 to 8. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have that to give my muscles a true reason to grow before I just keep doing junk volume of like 70s or 75s because my muscles aren't going to grow as much as they can versus doing the heaviest weight I can possibly do up to 7 to 8 reps. And that's where my muscles failed, and that's good because after challenging that weight, it forces my muscle to adapt when I continue to do it over weeks and weeks and weeks. So let's say 85, I'm getting 5, 7, 7, 5, 7. Every week, 5, 7, 8, 8, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9, 9. And once I get to like actually do 10 of 85s, I go up the next week in 90s. And once I start off with 90s doing 5 to 6, fail from 5 to 6 range, then once you get up to that 10 range, you keep progressing over and over and over again. It's just a never ending cycle of ultimately progressing until you want to train for definition instead of size. Now, how to make this more effective in your gym time is you make it effective by only doing 2 compound workouts from 5 to 6 sets each. And this shouldn't take you longer than 30 minutes. So each of these 5 to 6 sets would then nah. So you should do 5 to 6 sets of 2 compound movements for one muscle group. If you only have 20 to 30 minutes for one muscle that you just want to go to the gym just to work. Now, training for definition. Training for definition is what people normally do, but you can still put size on training like this because I used to put size on like training like this, but after like the first month or two on my bulk, I kind of like plateaued a little bit, so I had to actually start going heavier. And it doesn't help as much as going heavier because your muscles adapt to just more reps, more sets. Your muscles adapt, but it's harder for your muscles to adapt to more weight, and it keeps them challenged, and it makes sure your muscles actually have something to look forward to versus just doing the extra rep. You know what I'm saying? So 12 to 15 reps will stimulate the muscle well, but nothing will stimulate it like going for heavier weight. But this will train you for a lot of definition. It also involves going to a failure and doing drop sets as well. Me, for example, I do 12 to 15 reps on a 75 dumbbell press. In my last few sets, I can go to a failure. If I didn't have a good set or I didn't have enough reps in a set, I'll do a drop set to increase stimulus. And that's if I didn't have a decent set, if I feel like my reps were shitty, I can just drop set it because I already have the tension from the 75s and I can just rep it out and still get the muscle stimulated. And how to make this more effective in your gym time, you do 4 or 5 sets of only 2 to 3 workouts. And if you're going to the gym just to work one muscle, this shouldn't take you longer than like 30 to 40 minutes to do 4 or 5 sets for only from 2 to 3 exercises. And make sure that you do the last 2 sets to failure. If there's any set that wasn't a good set, drop set it. This shouldn't take longer than 40 minutes. Now to put it in perspective, each muscle group should realistically take 30 to 40 minutes depending on how you're training and what exactly you're training. If you don't have much time throughout the week, remember, upper body compound movements work some on the arms as well. Let's say I do like an incline bench, right? Let's say I do like any chest press, any squat. Like you're getting a full body workout out that movement. It's not like it's mainly like predominantly legs or predominantly chest or whatever. But you on chest press, your arms get some work. On legs, your whole body gets some work. So you want to make sure you do compound movements because you don't really have time to isolate your muscles, especially if you're only working out a few days throughout the week, only for 40 minutes to an hour. You have to work your full body versus trying to just isolate certain muscles. Now, if it's like arms, that's something different because it's something you kind of have to isolate naturally to grow it. And you got to incorporate those days. But for people that just want to get like bigger as far as their chest, bigger, more defined as far as their chest, back, legs, abs, shoulders, you want to do compound movements. Now, if you don't have a lot of time to work, here's what you do. You pick 2 body parts, right? You pick 2 body parts on one day. Incorporate 2 compound movements for each body part. Now, do 4 sets of each movement with a 90-second rest time. And this takes 40 minutes because you spend 10 minutes, a calculated 10 minutes on each exercise. So let's say I'm doing chest presses, right? I want to do an incline Smith. I want to do a dumbbell press. I go heavy on each of them, but they both take about 4 to 5 sets take 10 minutes for each exercise. So incline Smith, dumbbell press, triceps next, tricep extensions, dips. And it should go like that because it makes it the most efficient way to actually like get a solid workout in. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, because it makes it the most optimal way. So you can actually keep going up in weight, but you don't have to spend hours in the gym like the other people and still not seeing any gains. So this does break it down to 10 minutes per exercise, but the key is to stimulate this. All sets have to go to failure. More likely than not, you have to push to at least close to failure in order to see like true growth with this, but you don't really have time to like just incorporate like hella sets and like hella different workouts. So you got to like go a lot of sets, and the last 2, 3 sets should go to failure because you need to stimulate your muscles the best you can. Be reckless with the weight, but you have to stimulate your muscles in the most time efficient way. The more reps that you do, the more stimulating it's going to get. So as you get deeper and deeper into reps, let's say you're 6, 7, 8, it's going to get more stimulating, but you have to keep pushing till muscular failure till you like physically can't push the weight up anymore. Because this is, or at least on the last set, because this is the only way that your muscle will grow. Now, don't get me wrong, for the people out there that do say that like you'll grow just doing like 10 to 12, just doing like the regular, it can, but like for people that actually want to put on size fast, that actually want to see their muscles like adapt by getting bigger and stronger fast, you actually have to put on more weight on the bar. And that means just something about adding 2.5 pounds, adding 5 pounds. And if you can do more than 10 of your weight, go up in weight. Just go through the motions. Don't be reckless. Don't just bullshit the workout. Make sure you're actually contracting the muscle. So squeeze, eccentric, squeeze, eccentric, squeeze, eccentrics. And make one, don't scroll while you're in the gym. In between sets, a lot of people are guilty of this. And when they say they don't have time, when all their time just went, scroll. When at the end of the day, they could have just used that time to just rest for a solid 90 seconds and go to the next set. But so many people just get caught like on Instagram or TikTok just scrolling. Because it's easy to get caught in those traps. I don't want to go into that, but like it's easy to like go and check a message and like go on Instagram app. It's easy. It's easy as hell too. So make sure you don't really scroll on your phone. Make sure you're only like picking music or like text important people back. And push, I said this a lot, but push close to failure on all your sets. Fuel before your workouts because it's key. You want to carb up before your workout and do a lot of protein after. Do a lot of protein before the workout too, but a lot of protein after will actually hit that anabolic time window so you can actually feel more muscle gain than what you would have just eating any other time throughout the day. Training. This is for people that are trying to burn a lot of calories and get conditioning with their workouts. So if you don't have time for cardio, if you don't have time, this is for people that are really trying to cut, but if you don't really have time to like do hella cardio or have time just to like do all that you need to at the gym, a HIIT workout will do you effective because it's 40 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 40 seconds on, 10 seconds off for every single exercise. So you can put every exercise that you want to do, every exercise that will target the muscles that you want to target. I definitely would do this with like more isolation movements though, like when they compound movement. You could do like 1 or 2 compound movements with this, but I wouldn't like go heavy. I wouldn't go like till feel like I definitely keep it like moderate. Just because like you're trying to get like a good workout, number one, you're training for definition. More times than not, if you're doing this, you're not training for size, you're training for definition, number two, and training to be more cut and just to be in good shape while actually getting a lot of cardio in. But if you're also doing this, it's probably because you're gonna lose a lot of fat. You're gonna lose a lot of fat doing this, but it's more people gets geared for people towards fat loss. So make sure if you guys are on a cut, or if you guys want like high intensity training and you don't really have time for up tempo cardio, then make sure you incorporate this. It will help you out a lot. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe, and love you boys. I'm out.